in the first 6 months, most babies they don't have to bite the mother's breast. But as they grow older, that probably happens. So, and also when mother complain of pain in the breast, it is because they are not putting the baby's mouth in the breast the right way. So there is a way to do it. If you don't do it the right way, you may have sores, you may have cracks on your around breast. So it's important that they know how to do it the right way. If a mother does it the right way, she will not have pain. And even if she has pain, it is not enough reason to stop breastfeeding her baby. She can breastfeed the baby on the other breast that is not painful and still continue to breastfeed on the painful breast. So usually, children, babies, they don't bite their mother, except as they grow older. But even as they grow older, it might just be children just trying to play with their parents, actually. But really, most babies don't really do that. The reason for having sore and cracks most of the time is because the mother is not putting the baby to breast the right way. Okay. And not because the baby is biting.
What is the right way? I know it may be a bit difficult for you to demonstrate because you don't have a dummy baby there, but what is the right way to put a baby, for a mother to put a baby to breast?
Okay. So the right way to put breast is, the woman breast have the part we call the nipple. And also after the nipple, we have a part we call the areola. I don't know any other name to call it. That is what we call it. So we have the pointed part, which is the nipple, then the other part, which is the areola. It is expected that when you put your baby to breast, that your baby's mouth surround the areola. For some mothers, the only part getting to the baby's mouth is just the nipple. But no, the baby has to also stuck around the areola. So you have to ensure that the baby, the breast properly enters the baby mouth, so that by the time the baby is sucking, the baby has the nipple and the areola part of the breast in his or her mouth.
Interesting. So that is the area surrounding the nipple, if I'm not mistaken, this areola.
Yes. All right. Area surrounding the nipple.
Okay. You talked about, you said breastfeeding, it needs to be exclusive for the first 6 months. Then it can be supplementary, with complementary baby food being given to the baby from 6 months up to 2 years. Some people feel that if you give a child breast milk till he's 2 years old, you're going to spoil the child. You're going to spoil the child. And it's not a way to raise a child. Maybe after a while, before 2 years, you have to stop, because if you continue that long, some people say the child may start rejecting solid food.
Okay, so it's important that as mothers, when they are about to introduce complement, they introduce it the right way and don't stop breastfeeding the baby. That babies, the child be a spoiled child if you breastfeed up to 2 years is not true. The reason why we encourage breastfeeding up to 2 years is so that because of the brain development, because the breast milk contains what the baby needs, but it's no longer enough to sustain the baby energy-wise. So we say, okay, stop other things. So the problem comes not with breastfeeding the baby, but mothers not even knowing how to have complementary feed to what their baby takes. That's why most of the time the children, they reject other food and all they want is breast milk. But if the mothers are taught, even at about 6 months, how to properly introduce local foods, other meals to what they are doing, they need to go a long way to help babies, so they won't have not willing to feed breastfeed.
One of the things that makes some mothers, breastfeeding mothers, not want to breastfeed maybe at a particular time is because they have not cleaned, washed the nipples, and then they would say they need to wash it before they breastfeed the child, and so they stay back from breastfeeding the child until they can find where to wash the nipples. Is it necessary to wash the nipples, the breast before you breastfeed your baby?
No.
Okay, not at all. I mean, if you're a brother, you've been moving around and you're sweaty and everything, wouldn't it be advisable to wash it, before you give the
It's
child
not a problem
a
if you
disease?
wash, but it's not a criteria that you must wash your nipple before you breastfeed your baby.
All right, it's quite interesting.
So nothing should stop you. Nothing should stop mothers from breastfeeding.
Okay, all right. So how many times a day should a child be breastfed? Because I'm sure that mothers need to rest at some point, from the stress of the day and all of this. So how many times is it recommended? Is it every time the baby cries, you just put something in the mouth, or you have a set number of times that the baby should be breastfed in a day?
At demand.
Wow.
Especially in the first 6 at demand, yes. At demand. So as the baby demands for the breast milk, mothers should breastfeed their baby. And that's why they need the community to support them, to assist them, so it's easy for them to do.
Okay. We also told some people say, you know what, it's if you don't get you don't breastfeed your newborn child immediately, you won't be able to do it. So as the child pops up, the first hour after birth, you need to push your breast into the baby's mouth. Is that true?
It is recommended that within the first hour of life, babies should put the breast.
Okay.
We encourage that. Yes.
Okay. So if you don't do that within the first hour, maybe the mother is weak or she's been attended to in the hospital or something, does it mean that she won't be able to breastfeed the child again?
No. Like I said, that is what we recommend. That is what the World Health Organization recommends. But a lot of situations can arise. A woman that just had a cesarean section I was put to sleep to deliver a baby, may not be able to breastfeed a baby. But the moment the mother is awake, then the mother should put the baby to breast.
What about mothers who are taking medication? Maybe they are sick. Does this affect the breastfeeding?
Okay. It depends on the medication. Not all medication are contraindicated. Some are and some are not. So if the mother is taking any medication, she needs to discuss that with her doctor so that they can tell her if, madam, despite taking this medication, you can still breastfeed your baby. And if she can't, then she should look for alternatives.
Okay. Finally, very shortly, please. How do you wean a baby of, breast feeding, especially for those who've gone 2 years on this? How do you wean them? Very quickly, please.
Okay. So, you start breastfeeding at birth, exclusive for 6 months. And like I said earlier, you just give breast milk at demand. But as the child grows older, the child will take less of breast milk. So that way, it's already weaning the child. And adding complementary feed, you probably won't be giving the child breast milk at demand. So this moment the child demands for food, you give something else. So that way the number.
All right. Seems Oluwatosin Adepoju has been lost. Oluwatosin, if you're there, can you hear me? If not, we'd like to call it a day at this point, and thank you very much for your time. She is a public health physician based in Lagos. As we celebrate World Breastfeeding Week, I think one of the takeaways is that she said breast milk is good for the mother and also good for the baby. I didn't hear her say it's good for the father. So how about the men are listening to me this morning? It's for the mother and for the baby. All right, thank you very much. Oh, you're there. Thank you very much. That was just on the lighter note. Thank you very much for your time, Luatosin and Depoju.
Oh,
All right, and happy breastfeeding week. All right. So all the men in the studio here who've been looking and laughing and swanning, even in the control room, you have to understand, it's for the mother and for the baby. We'll be right back up next to talk about privatization of public hospitals in Nigeria. The national president of the Nigerian Medical Association is our guest.
Hello and thank you for joining us on this episode of One on One. Today we're focusing on women in tech. Now, despite conversations about gender diversity in tech, women are still underrepresented and underpaid in the industry. My guest today is Anu Gopal, and she's the host of the Agile Africa Alliance, a virtual community of 2,000 plus Africa Agile practitioners, and has mentored hundreds of Africans in diaspora to a six-figures salary. Now, Anu is the first Black African certified Agile coach. She also launched the Women in Agile chapters for both Nigeria and Dallas-Fort, USA. By trade, she works as an organizational coach for leadership teams at places like Nike, AT&T, Toyota, Capital One, TD Bank, and the UK government. Thank you so much, Anu, for joining us today.
Thank you, Fumi, for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get straight to it. Tell us, how did you get into tech?
Wow, that's an interesting story. So, initially, I wanted to study petroleum engineering.
Okay.
But my older brother filled my JAM form because I did my first degree in University of Ibadan.
Okay.
And he actually put computer science. And I passed my JAM, I passed my WAHEC, and I found myself as a computer science student at University of Ibadan. And 4, 5, 6 years with all those strikes in Nigerian University, I graduated with BSc Computer Science, and I fell in love with tech.
Okay.
And that is how the journey started. And I didn't regret it because that's where the passion for women development, especially youth development in the tech space, stemmed from.
All right. We were talking earlier behind the scenes. I would like you to tell us some of your challenges. Has been, like, reading your bio as the first Black woman. Has it been being a woman in tech?
It's been challenging, frustrating, especially not just breaking into the tech industry, but when you look at the organization workplace, the cultural bias for women in tech, it's really, really frustrating. Even in developed countries, you will only find few women, and mostly they're Indian women in tech, because they dominate the tech industry. So, the pay gap is also, when it comes to the gender between male and female, the women are not really treated well. Even getting promoted is another issue. I had a similar problem in an organization that I don't want to mention.
Okay.
I was to be the chief of Agile in that organization, and the next thing is a white male became the chief of Agile. And it was so frustrating that I had to leave that company, because as a woman in tech, you have to fight for yourself. You have to fight for your worth. You have to work 5 times harder than men in tech.
Okay, so is this responsible? Because this leads to my next question, where he says that according to the National Science Foundation, there's a consistent trend that has been dubbed a leaky pipeline, where it's difficult to retain women in STEM jobs once they have graduated with a STEM degree. Do you think this is responsible? What's responsible for that?
Well, when you're working in a male-dominated industry, what do you expect? In male-dominated industry, it's really, really difficult for women to find their footing. And also with all these cultural bias and gender bias and, pay gap, promotion and challenges that women are facing in technology, most women doesn't want to even, step into that opportunity as well. Like, they would prefer to do something that, prefer to be in an industry that they have more women than going into an industry that is male-dominated. And it's also frustrating. There's that misconception that women doesn't belong in tech. It's male industry. And that's what people like us are fighting against. Because where you have women, women are the most hardworking, motivated. We take passion into the workplace.
Yeah.
And any organization that wants to be productive, profitable, you know, that gender balance has to be in space. So I don't blame some women. I have a lot of friends that have actually, you know,
Quit.
left. They've left the tech industry
Wow.
because of these gender bias.
So what do we do? How do we get more women to be in tech then? What do we need to do?
We have more male advocates, especially men in leadership positions, fighting for us women, you know, just helping that gender balance to be in place. You know, providing sponsorship, mentorship opportunities for women. You know, when you walk into a boardroom, we need to have, even if it's 30% women and 70% men. I've been in boardroom meetings that I'm the only black woman and I'm the only woman. And a woman from Africa, what do you expect? So we need more male advocates, not just women advocates. And also, we also need our women, especially our female youths, to believe that they belong in this industry because technology is the future of the world. It's even our present right now. There's nothing we can do without technology.
Technology, that's so true.
We live, we breathe it. Everybody have a mobile phone, right? And it's built by technology. So we need to have that confidence, that belief, believing in ourselves that we can do it.
Okay. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll take a quick break and I'll still be here with Anu. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. This is still one-on-one, and I have Anu Gopal with me, and we're talking about women in tech. Now, so you were talking earlier on about all of us having mobile phones and all of that. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of notion where many people feel like tech is a young people thing, you know, 18, 21, maybe 30 max. And a lot of women, you know, older are like restraining themselves from wanting to get into tech, for example. So I, for example, I'm interested in tech. I'm just fascinated by, you know, by the whole thing and the conversations and all of that. And I really think I want to break it. But sometimes they're like, for me, whoa, it's not mama like you. They're looking for that kind of place. So I would like you to like clear that notion. Can older people still get into tech if they want to?
Why not? Tech is for everyone. Even if you're 80-year-old, you can decide to develop passion in tech and study, you know, tech, have a tech career. I'm one of those 40 plus. I love tech. I'm passionate about tech. And, you know, that's not going to change because tech has revolutionized global economy, like the entire world. You know, it's interconnected because of technology. Right? Gone are the days that we need to send letter, we need to, you know, all those, you know, traditional ways of communicating with each other. Everything is powered by tech. So tech is for everyone, and you're invited to come for the next
Surely, trust
Girls
me.
in Tech.
Surely, trust me, I'm going to join in. So my next question is about the fact that I think with every industry in Nigeria, a lot of people do things in silos, and many of the things, even in the tech industry in Nigeria, people are working, you know, separately and differently. There has been no coming together, so to speak, and also like a one voice from like the Ministry of Digital Economy, for example. What can we begin to do to change that, to have like a lot of government backing? Because if you look at USA, for example, you know, the government gives a lot of support to their, you know, to their tech companies, even when they are right or they are wrong, and they just give like a lot of support. How do we begin to get to that level in Nigeria where the government can give people like you support?
Wow, interesting question. You know, there are so many grants in developed countries, the way they are powering technology, helping large corporations and even small organizations, you know, to be profitable and to be able to sustain their economy, because everything is, you know, everything is powered by technology. I think the biggest challenge we have in Nigeria is trust. You know, if I have a business idea and I share it with you, you can run with my idea. Although we have system in place like patents and stuff like that, but it's not robust enough to protect my vision and your vision, especially when you're sharing it with friends and family. But the challenge is until we change our mindset, it's a mindset thing, and we begin to work collaboratively instead of working in silos. Silo will not take us anywhere, and that's one of the biggest challenges that we have in Nigeria. You know, when you look at why these countries are thriving, it's because of collaboration between the government,
Yes.
between the corporations, SMEs, and individuals, doing so many things to develop the economy. You know, for the Ministry of Data Economy, right, they need to understand, what does the citizens need? What do we really need to do to build a data economy for our country? What could make us to be a country that can innovate faster than any other continent in the world? They need to start reaching out to individuals and organizations, both small and big organizations, and come together to discuss, what do we need to do to revolutionize our country, our economy? Because the best talent and the best resources in the world is in Nigeria, is in Africa. It's that collaboration and communication and cooperation and working together that is missing.
Okay, so interesting answer that you've given. But let's talk about the fact that, you know, the Nigerian tech space is, you know, is still growing. But we see that in the ecosystem of the tech space, we have more of foreign venture capitalists giving funds than local investors. Some of my friends that are in tech, you know, I think about 2 weeks ago, they were just complaining about how, but the thing is, once they get like funding from an international investor, then all the local guys now come up. And I'm like, what happened to the local guys in the first place? Why are the local investors not championing, you know, the causes of these tech guys, and we wait for venture capitalists from, you know, outside to come in?
Well, the wealthiest people in Africa are in Nigeria.
Just that you say that.
Yes, you know, and even when you're looking at the first 50 wealthy people in the world, we have in Nigeria among us. But we're in a VUCA world, right? I want to put myself in their shoe as well, and I will put myself in the shoe of the startup founders. We're in a VUCA world. The world is very volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, right? And I've realized that even with the programs I'm doing, right, it's mostly self-funded.
Okay.
When you go to organizations, corporate organizations for sponsorship, they're like, what's in it for us? Why do we need to support you? Maybe because of lack of trust. So because of the uncertainty and the volatile, startup ecosystem.
But that's what business is about, really. Because the truth is, many of these organizations go ahead and still put money in projects that are not necessarily tech.
Exactly.
And then they get to lose money. So isn't that what business is about? Taking some form of risk at the end of the day.
So one thing I've also realized is that Africans have low appetite for risk.
True.
And also, if I invest in you, what's the confidence level to show that that startup is going to be successful and I'm going to get my money back? And I'm also going to get the profits and, you know, the stake that have been promised. And if Nigerian rich people can see the opportunity, and if they can see the talents of the Nigerian youth especially, our country will be better than this. Why do you think foreign investors are popping millions of funds into Nigeria? They saw opportunity. Nigeria, especially Africa, in the next 10 years is going to be a continent that can innovate faster than any other continent in the world. They've seen the potential. They've seen the big money. They've seen opportunity for investment in Africa. In 2018, we had about 87% foreign investors investing in African startups. And local is about 12-point-something%. But what happened in 2019? The number increased to 95%.
Oh, wow.
And the number of local investors reduced to, became 5%, which was 8% gaps. So if these African rich men can see the opportunities that these foreign investors are seeing, we don't need them. We have the wealth in Nigeria.
I think you've answered my next question, where I was about to ask you about the potential. What do you see about the potential in the Nigerian tech space?
Oh, there's so many potentials. And we've seen the results. We've seen CUDA, we've seen Paystack, we've seen Flutterwave, and we've seen so many. Do you know that in 2019, we had about 400 startups in Africa, and Nigeria, of course, our country always have the highest in everything. But in the year of COVID, it rose to 646 startups. So that additional 200 plus startups were founded in Africa. even in the year of COVID, that foreign organizations were shutting
Shut it
down.
down.
Because the youth saw different opportunities during the year of COVID and even beyond the year of COVID that we can use to transform our continent. So the number of startups will continue to increase. But I just wish that Africans can believe to trust each other, and also local investors can believe in these youths and start pumping the right investments to create a sustainable, profitable business that will not just benefit the founders and the stakeholders, will benefit the economy and also provide job opportunities for the youths.
Interesting. Okay, we'll take another break. So we'll take another break. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. And if you had been following us from the beginning, we're talking about tech space and women in the tech space and the challenges they have, currently going through. I still have Anu Gopal with me. So Anu, tell me about this experience. You recently trained over 30 girls. What was that about?
100 girls.
Over 100 girls. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. This is the third edition. So what we do is to close the gender gap in technology, which is the ratio of 75% male and 25% female. And African and African American ratio is 3%. And when you look at the percentage of African women in tech, it's less than 1%. Not to talk of Nigeria as an example. So our goal is to bridge that gender gap and provide education, training, mentorship, career opportunities, and also entrepreneurship to our African youths, especially Nigerian female youths. So we had a 3 weeks boot camp, and these beautiful ladies, talented ladies, with no prior experience in technology, because our criteria is we are looking for girls that are passionate. You don't need to study computer science or computer engineering, but so far you have passion in technology. We had about thousands girls between the age of 18 to 25 that applied, and we chose the best 100 out of them. And they went through a 3 weeks boot camp where they learned machine learning, data science, artificial intelligence, web development, UI, UX, and also they did a 2-day training to learn the agile methods. So agile is the #1 innovation method in Silicon Valley, and the secret sauce of Facebook, all those silicon companies. So, and at the end of the 3 weeks boot camp, they did a 2 days hackathon to use everything that they've learned over the last 2 weeks plus to develop data, social, economic solutions for Nigeria, for Lagos.
Fantastic. I was there and I saw some of the innovative things that they came up with. Okay, so let's talk about infrastructure. And I like that you've mentioned Facebook. And my question stems from the fact that every time there's a glitch, maybe on Instagram, on Facebook, and everybody goes, and I'm like, okay, when will we begin to build our own Nigerian Facebook? But look, our internet structure here is not even, what are we going to do about that? Because the tech space needs to work vis-a-vis with the infrastructure right in place with that. What do we need to do, or how do we need to go about that?
Well, our infrastructure has improved compared to a few years ago, but it's still very poor. And there's no way you can build a digital economy without infrastructure, right? You are calling someone that is next beside you and it's telling you that the phone is switched off. But the phone is actually on. So we need the government and also private organizations to help build our infrastructure. Why do you think foreign investors are going to Ghana? Why are they going to Rwanda? Why not Nigeria? Not just the infrastructure, our bureaucracy is like crazy. You have to go through maybe 100 steps before you can even start a company, invest in Nigeria, which is really, really ridiculous. When I was in Toyota, I was so excited talking to the CEO. Oh, you will come to Nigeria because Toyota is in India. Toyota is in China, different countries, right? And I said, oh, Nigeria, don't worry. But with all the bureaucracy and so many challenges that we have in our governance, they went to Ghana. which is really, really painful. So we need to invest a lot in the infrastructure to benefit the citizens, not to benefit the government or few percentage of the citizens.
True, very true. Okay, so let's wrap this up with giving a word of advice or encouragement to is two-pronged. So one, for someone who is not in tech and watching you right now and is considering going into that, and then also for someone who's already in tech and probably going through like a lot of challenges. What advice will you have for both of them?
Oh, for those that want to go into tech, the opportunities are there. You can start by learning online. There's Coursera, there's Simplify, there's Udemy. Start from there and discover your passion. Because there are so many skills in tech. What am I excited about? What makes me leap out for joy when I wake up in the morning? Is it data marketing because it's still part of tech? Is it any of these cutting edge technology skills that we are training our girls for the Girls in Tech Bootcamp? Find your passion, find your calling. Tech is not just meant for men. Tech is meant for every man and woman created on this earth. People like us, we struggle. I call myself small but mighty, and a lot of people call me that. You can't shake me, right? You have to try very hard because this industry belongs to me as well. And I'm going to fight hard and to stay in this industry. So believe in yourself, believe in your dream, be confident, be bold. Anyone can achieve, become whoever they want to become in life. That's what our Nigerian girls need to do. Be bold, be confident. Believe that you can do it. And for those that are in tech, yes, it's frustrating, it's difficult. Do not quit, do not leave. Stay there. People like us, I was telling you during the break, I was told by some white crazy guy, go back to your village in Nigeria. What are you doing? You are taking our job. This leadership position belongs to us. No, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to anyone that has the talent to sit on that seat.
All right, thank you so much, Anu. That's really an encouraging word, even for me that is not even in the tech space. And of course, I'm going to have this conversation with you afterward about going into the tech space.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us on One-on-One today. I hope you have learned a thing or two and I have been encouraged. I personally have really been encouraged by Anu and the fantastic things she's doing in the tech space. We look forward to hearing more from her. Until another episode of One-on-One, I remain Fumi Unwajefe. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome to another episode of Ladies Talking Business. On this show, we break down the concept of business to its simplest form. I am Moremi Akonho. Our guest today is a 26-year-old shoemaker. She is the founder of Care Designs, a shoemaking company she founded 5 years ago in Kano, Nigeria. She is a graduate of biology at Kano State University of Science and Technology. Our guest is Khairat Ibrahim. Hello, Khairat. Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Fine.
Thanks for joining us on the show today. So very quickly, let's go straight into our discussion. Why did you go into shoemaking?
Actually, before I went into shoemaking, I love anything that do with handwork. So I started sewing before shoemaking. I started shoemaking 5 years ago because I was into bag making, and for a person to buy bags, it has to go with shoemaking. And also, I love anything that do with handwork.
Okay.
So I was into sewing, photography, and so many stuff. But shoemaking caught my attention because I think it is my passion.
Okay, you said it caught your attention. Was it because you thought you could make more money from shoemaking?
Oh, it started like a passion.
Okay, for fashion. Okay. So what reactions did you get from people, especially your family, your friends, and people from the north about being a female shoemaker?
my family supported me. They are still supporting me, but people from our side are still surprised. They used to ask, "Are you really the one making those shoes?" I will be like, "Yes," because they believe that shoemaking is just for male gender, not for female gender. Though it's male dominated work, so
Yeah.
maybe that's what female can make shoes actually. Because up till now, I normally get questions like,
An impoverished and malnourished grassroots is a recipe for underdevelopment and stagnation. The challenge of growth and development is therefore how to harness this glut of resources of Nigeria. The rural sector is a very critical sector, and you have to do this to develop a sound basis for overall development. And of course, we know that Nigeria cannot achieve a sustainable economic development if it continues to pay lip service to grassroots education and development only when election draws close. Well, joining us to discuss this tonight is Honorable Amos Bama Mabeji of the PDP, member-elect for Zango-Katab Jaba Federal Constituency, and Honorable Donatus Matthew of the Labour Party, Kaura House of Representatives, member-elect. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us tonight. Thank you for having me. Okay, Honorable Magaji, I'm sure you are the one talking to us now. Zango-Katab Jaba Federal Constituency. First of all, long time ago, it was on the news for the wrong reasons. There were a lot of problems in Zango-Katab. Now, you are the one who is more or less steering the ship of Zango-Katab. Tell us more about the situation in Zango-Katab, where you are going to superintend over, as it were, as a member of the Federal House of Representatives. Hello, Honorable Magaji. We seem to have lost the audio from Honorable Magaji, but Honorable Magaji is a member representing Zango-Katab Jaba Federal Constituency. He was the former chairman Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, Abuja, and he will be talking with us alongside Honorable Donatus Matthew of Kaura constituency. He is of the Labour Party, while Honorable Magaji is of the PDP. They'll be talking to us about grassroots education, grassroots mobilization, grassroots representation, and they are taken from the stock, as like they say, everybody, every leader is taken from the people, and whatever you get is as a result of what the society is. I'd like to know as soon as Honorable Magaji can rejoin us, so that we can talk with him on this. Okay? Is that Honorable Magaji? Okay. Honorable Donatus Matthew. Good evening and welcome to the program. Good evening. Yes. Okay, well, first of all, congratulations for your election into the House of Representatives. Thank you very much. A lot of people have said maybe you were not even prepared to take up this responsibility. What is your response to that? I said a lot of people have said because you are not a core politician, as some people might think, that you were not so prepared for this, but you just got the grace of God and won this election. What is your response to this kind of allegations or this kind of talk about you? Okay. Yeah, I was saying, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? That's unfortunate. Well, we'll take a short break and see what can be done about that. And when we return, we'll be talking with Honorable Donatus Matthew of Para constituency, and also Honorable Amos Magaji of Zandukata Jaba Federal constituency. Stay with us. Welcome to PlusTvAfrica. I'm PlusTvAfrica. Thank you for joining us on Speedtest. We're about each time on PlusTvAfrica. Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. Is it true? Is it titled to marry 100 viewers stupid? Glad to know you're still there. It's still Plus Politics on PlusTvAfrica. My name is Nyambula Agaji. And before we took the break, we were talking with Honorable Donatus Matthew of Kaura constituency. He is a member-elect for the House of Representatives representing Kaura constituency. Honorable Donatus Matthew, thanks for joining us on the program once again. Thank you very much. Okay, the first question I asked you just to open it was that a lot of people said that you won the election out of the grace of God because you may not have been prepared as every other politician was prepared, knowing that you were not part of the, I don't want to use the word bandwagon, but how prepared were you to take up this responsibility that has been thrust upon your feet right now? Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, we want to appreciate the people of Colorado government who have been to rally around me and make me what I am today. Honestly, it came as a surprise because many people bet on the understanding of politics. Most of the time, people think you have to be financially buoyant. You must have attained a certain level before you go into politics, but absolutely it was a different case with Orlando government. Hello, Honorable. Yes, sir. So what I have to say is, you were asking what I have to do or what did you say? I was saying, like you rightly answered, I was saying that a lot of people have said that you may not have been prepared for these, and you just got it by the grace of God because you are not a politician per se. That was what you were answering. Yeah, I think people got it wrong when they said, I am not a politician. Yeah, I have been a politician. Though not actively involved at a higher pedestal like it is now. But we have been involved in politics for a very long time. Okay. They say that you are a transporter, and from being a transporter, you became a member-elect for the House of Representatives. Could you tell us that aspect of your life that you think you are going to take over to the House of Representatives, and how it is going to help you to be a better member or a good member of the House of Representatives? Yeah, when you say that transporter, I think you have given up target. You would have allowed me as an Okadama. Because that is what I have been doing. Everybody has his own home begin. And from where I am coming from, being an Okada for previously, that has given me a clear understanding of what the yearning and aspiration of the people are. And the people understood very well that we know what their problems are, and we have been part and parcel of the community. So they know we have a compensating understanding of the happenings within our constituency. That makes them believe if we are given opportunity based on our antecedents, what we have been doing at our own level, they have so much confidence in us that if they allow us go there, maybe we will make a difference. Okay, I did hear that part of Okada, but I wanted you to say it yourself, and we needed to know how humble or otherwise that you are. How do you think this is going to translate into you being a good House of Reps member? I know that you have said that it helped you to know what the problems of your people are. What are the problems of your people that you will try to address when you get into the House of Representatives? Yes, some of the issues we have in that it has to do with policies. Now, we must go there to see that policies that are humanly oriented, policies that have direct bearings on the lives of the people, most especially in my context, my constituency, we have been suffering in terms of security, insecurity, and the economy is nothing to write home about. In terms of education and many other things, you can't just say as it is now that there is anything to encourage anyone based on the happening, because there is so much increase in school fees that most of our students cannot go back to school. The issue of agriculture, no fertilizer, and nobody cares to come and see what the political means are there. So, for these are policies we are thinking we should go there and we contribute our own part and so that at least there should be support. Okay, thank you. We'll get back to you. Right now, we're being joined by Honorable Amos Magaji of Zango Katav Java Federal Constituency. Hello and welcome once again, Honorable Magaji. Thank you for having me. Okay, Honorable Magaji, you are in the House of Representatives, and what are some of these challenges that you face in the House of Representatives? A lot of people expect more from the members of the House of Representatives, from the members of the National Assembly, if you ask me. And what are some of these challenges that you face that you think going back to the House of Representatives you are going to address to make your people better? Yeah, thank you very much. Most of the problems that we encounter as legislators is basically people thinking as a legislator you are an executive. As a legislator you are a job provider, you are to build roads and to do everything for the community. As a legislator you provide for the basic needs of the people. These and many more are some of the limitations, the struggle, the problems that the legislator faces with his people directly. We have vast needs, and then unfortunately, with the dwindling economy of the nation, we have had to go through it. Of course, not everybody will understand, and you will feel as a legislator, you have so much money under you that you can play with and do so much with. But of course, we only have our own costs, and we also have the project we influence in the budget, and once that is done, you have to wait for another year to be able to lobby and get something into the budget. For us, sometimes you get probably a block of classroom for your community, and once it's built, the next community feels maybe you can just replace it in the middle of the year and get it done. These are some of the problems we have encountered, and of course, the poor economy of the nation has also affected representation because you are directly involved with the people that are going through these problems. And if you are connected with them physically and with your heart, there's no way you'll be happy seeing your people in pain, seeing your people wallowing in poverty and seeing people not being able to feed their family, not to talk of paying their bills in school. So these are some of the problems we encounter. And then, of course, you see your limitation in meeting their needs. But Honorable, today we're looking at the education of your constituencies, the grassroots. That's what we're looking at. But we've always had this problem of a lot of constituents complaining that their House of Rep members, their senators, even down to the grassroots, their chairmen and all that, are not people that they see. The level of engagement between the National Assembly members and the people, their constituents, is something that a lot of people complain about. Is there a particular reason why some people seem to run away from their constituencies, even when they have constituency offices, they don't get seen in their constituencies? What would you say to the level of engagement between people who are representing a community and that community which they are representing? Would you say members of the National Assembly have done well? You see, as a case study. Let me very front to you. If you remove National Assembly, the projects, the community development that you have, many community have experienced, you will not be there. Go to IDSC, and I can boldly say, go to many of our communities. You will discover that many of the federal presidents' jobs that they have seen, classroom, boreholes, and whatever, have continued their representative. Now I have addressed some of them before, and I dare say, the reason why you don't see many people on ground all the time with their constituents is that, for example, you're able to go home with $1 million, $2 million. You will only stay at home for 2-3 days before that money finishes. Because you are directly faced with the problem of your people. And sometimes when you are without money, you are almost useless at home. I'm saying as it affects the remain. The needs you see every day, the requests you receive every day, even if you have 10 million in your name or in your hand every single day, you will finish. Some people may not be able to face their people and tell them, okay, please, I don't have. I am sorry. Some may understand, but some may not understand. Is that not a result of the poor education of the people? Now, I'm not talking about going to school or anything, but some people do not know what these functions are. Because the way they see you is the way maybe many members of the House of Representatives and the Senate have presented themselves. So now it has become like your primary function is not even to make laws, it's to empower the people. Because for instance, post the election, there were empowerment programs of machines, of bicycles. Yes, let me say this, sir. Yes. You are in the House of Rep and you sponsor maybe 10-15 bills and motions. And somebody comes, it's a whole lot of problems. And somebody comes with money and shows them money directly. I can assure you that that person will be voted in and will be voted out. Verbal education, I understand it is needed. But when you are faced directly with poverty and immediate needs, for example, sir, you are there speaking English and you are there to make laws. And then somebody's father is in the hospital and he comes to you requesting for financial help in order for his father to go through a prostate surgery. At that moment, that person, what he needs is, or what he wants to hear, is the amount you give him to help him get his father to hospital. This is what I'm telling you, I'm not saying what I understand, I'm telling you what I have encountered. So in spite of voters' education, you can't be the okay legislator. These are my responsibilities. But people don't see you based on what you tell them. People see you on what the perception they have of you. And as long as people see you as a member of House of Rep, they see you as a big man up there, you are rich, Before he came, he did for himself, he's already having it cheap. He already is living in a very big house. So they see money. And that's what they believe that you are there to get and to bring to them. I was able to influence a road construction in my constituency. And somebody looked at me and said, if you like, tell the entire community, if you don't blow our pocket, it's useless. So you are faced with things like that. Even today, as I'm telling you, I'm just coming from the radio station, and it's part of educating the people. Since morning, I've been sitting with different opinion leaders, and I was trying to say, this is what we do, these are the opinions that I have sponsored in House of Representatives, and these are some of the things we intend to do. But I tell you, politics is local. Once you get down there, and you begin to experience some of the things from your local level, you understand the need that you have to wake up and do some physical things that may be seen, if not, with all your 100 plus 50 bills, motions, and petitions you have presented in the before the House. If nothing is seen, you may be just thrown out with all your bills. So, education, we still need to be educating our people continuously. And I think one of the things that will relieve the legislators from all this problem is when the local government system is functional and the executive from the state are seen to be working and doing what they're supposed to do. As long as the local government is not really there to execute a mandate, people will always see the legislature as their final or their way out of poverty and help. Some of the problems that the legislature have found themselves is because the local government is not working. That's why you are seeing as somebody to construct a convent, you're seeing a person to bring road project, you're seeing as somebody to bring to pay bills in hospital. Sometimes I don't blame our people for thinking that way. If there were health insurance, people would not come to you for medical bills. If the educational system is working and there are scholarship or loans given to people who go to national institutions, I don't think they will disturb the legislature for school fees. So, we just have to brace up and face the problems that we have found in our communities. Okay, I think this is a problem that will be wiped out in one day. Voters' education, community education is something that is a continuous thing that we have to engage in continuously to bring to our people. I agree with you completely, 100%, that we need their education. But once we are engaging our people, before they come to the place of knowledge, before they come to the place of understanding the cardinal reason why we are there, these things will not stop in one day. But I agree with you, voters' education, our community also need education to understand the sharp divide between the legislature and an executive. But until then, the responsibilities, the yearning and the desires, the request of the people will still be coming. Honorable Matthew, you are also going to the House of Reps. You are going to the House of Reps from a different corner, and let me use that. You've said it yourself that you're from being an Okada man, you're now going into the House of Reps. What will you do differently, massively different from what everybody has been doing? Or maybe not everybody, but what is it that will mark you out as someone who has been with the people and has left the people to that high pedestal? So what are you going to do differently that others may not be doing right now? Yeah, first and foremost, from where I'm coming from and my own experience, I know that this position will give me a ground to come back to my people, so that we sit down together and we together to see the best way and direction to go. First and foremost, we will try to see that there constituency projects and many other things, we presenting issues that come directly from the people we are representing. So as you see that there is sanity, there is development, and there is understanding among the people in relation to the activities of the development and my representation at the House of Reps. Interesting. Okay, gentlemen, just stay on. We're about to take a short break, and when we return, we'll be looking squarely at the solutions to some of these problems that we have raised in the course of this show. Stay with us. So what are the top decisions that the United States considers necessary that Nigeria must take? I like to think of my interactions as conversations, not interviews. And that's why I say asking questions is both an art and a science. Everyone says in Islam you are allowed to have 4 wives. Since the beginning of this campaign, Jando and Funke have vigorously traversed all wards in Lagos State, from Kurudu to Badagry, Ekpe to Animosho, seeking to know the true state of our state and where the shoe really pinches. They visited the riverine communities in places that have never been visited before by any governorship candidate in the history of Lagos politics. Funke's market store is also the first of its kind by a deputy governorship candidate. Lagos, there's so much work to do. It is time to give the man who knows Lagos and can breathe a breath of fresh air the chance to lead. Vote Dr. Abdulaziz Olaide Adedio Jando as Governor of Lagos State. PDP! Power to the people! Welcome back. It's still Plus Politics, and my name is Nyangul Agaji. We still have with us here Honorable Amos Bwana Mabeji of the PDP, member-elect for Zango Qatar, Java Federal Constituency, and Honorable Donatus Matthew of the Labour Party for Kaura, House of Representatives, member-elect. Gentlemen, thank you for still being there. Okay, before we went on the break, we were talking about some of the problems that members of the National Assembly face, lawmakers face, and all that we're just wondering. But before we go into proffering the solutions to these, where we are going to start, I'd like to come back to you, Honorable Mwagaji. You said something about, you mentioned constituency projects, both of you did, and the perception has been that there's money voted for constituency projects, and the definition for constituency projects is for you to use that to make sure you take care of the needs of the people, some of which you are mentioning there now. Give us an understanding what gave rise to the constituency projects money, as it were, and what it really is, so that the people will start to know, because this is part of educating the people, so that they need to know what money comes in, how it comes in, and why it comes in. What is this constituency project, and why is it such an issue? Okay, thank you very much. As a representative of the people, who are given the opportunity to sponsor some projects in every budget year. And it depends on the number of people that you have in the state. For example, states that have many members, every state has an equal amount of money for the members to pose in constituency projects. Every state. And then that money is shared between the Senate and the House of Reps. So if you have, and the number of senators for each state is the same, then the number of members of the House of Representatives varies from state to state. For example, if you are from Bayelsa or Nasarawa State with 5 members in House of Reps, the amount you're receiving is different from somebody from Lagos or Kano with 24 members. So the same amount that is shared for people that are in states with many men. Or you say people from states with fewer members. Are you with me? Yes, I am. Go ahead. Go ahead, Honorable, I can hear you. If you have fewer members from the state, the money you have for consistency project will be bigger than somebody from Kano. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand. Yes. I'm trying to understand because you did say that one of the things that you do is to influence projects to come to your constituency. And then now we're talking about particular amounts voted for members to furnish some projects in the constituency. Are these different things? Yeah, they are different. Okay. As a member representing the community, I can go to Ministry of Works and begin to seek for a project in my community. Okay. That is different from the consistency allocation that I am receiving every year. I don't know if you're getting me. Yes, I'm getting you. Good. So, what you get from other ministries are different from what you are able to influence into the budget. It depends also whether you are a leader or you are a chairman of a standing committee. These are some of the different things that will come by the way. A member of committee on works may every year get a block of classroom through the committee may be located in his place. Let's aside the amount that is voted in as constituency project for you that you'll be able to sponsor into your constituency. I hope you understand. Yeah, so for one of them, you need to be really, you don't need to actually do anything as it were. The money will come to you because it is needed for constituency projects. For the other one, it depends on your bargaining ability with the relevant bodies to influence something to your community. Is that it? How many of these things that you influence to your community do you go back to your community to find out what they really need? Is it at your discretion or the people are carried along? Yeah, most times we engage the stakeholders in the community most times. Sometimes as a member of household, you receive requests from different communities. You receive requests from different social-cultural groups. You receive requests from the local government, and so on and so forth. It's from all these requests and engagement that form what we use the legal amount that you receive for. For example, with the decay of the educational system in Nigeria, basically they cover school in your community. In all our communities that you say they have enough. When you go to your communities, either they don't have enough classrooms, or if you barely see a community that has enough classrooms, it's called their no chairs. So the problems are so enormous. So you begin to receive letters from communities, requests from social-cultural community, and these are the stakeholders in the community that you sit down with, that you are engaged with. I just ended a meeting now with a community, and then the request I have from that community, it will take me more than 4 years to finish, even if I were to deal with that community alone, we'll be able to execute what they want. So clearly I understand what you're talking about. It is very, very important for our community engagement and education. And that's why to be one of the solutions I feel that may help in pushing some of these effects is local government autonomy. When the resources of the local government are coming directly to local government and to be used by the local government, you discover that some of these things will reduce. Now when you go to some of our local government, But legally, she should be federal rules are supposed to be done by the local government that are done. As we got the resources for. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let me also try to engage Honorable Donatus Matthew. Honorable Matthew, you are just coming from the people, from among the people. You've not gone to the house yet. The dog has not bitten you, like some people say. When you have public office, there's a dog that bites you and changes good men to bad men. But in your experience as an ordinary man who is now becoming an honorable going into the house, what areas do you think should be the areas to start first in giving this education to people? Because without this education, the responsibilities of the members of the House or the National Assembly will be doubled or tripled in areas that they are not supposed to even touch, like Honorable Magaji is saying. Someone is coming to you for medical bills, someone is coming to you for school fees, someone is coming to you for a lot of other things. I see these things as distractions. Where do we start to educate our people to get to know who is supposed to do what and how to own the projects that come into their communities? Honorable Matthew, please. We seem to have lost the audio from Honorable Matthew. As soon as he's able to rejoin us, we'll take him on. Are you on, Honorable Matthew? Yes. Where do we start to do that? I was trying to say the people are not ignorant of the role of a lawmaker. You see, it's not that they are not there to be the kingdom. Who are even the kingdom? So what I'm saying, first and foremost, you must attend to the people, you must listen to them. The issue of them coming with one problem or the other does not stop you from connecting with them. And does not stop you from doing your work as an educator. I have had the experience of being a supervisory customer. That is to tell you that I have dealt with the classroom. It is after that they elected me as a high school. I went back as a high school representing my own work. So all that is needed is for you to be able to listen to the people, attend to them in times of need. So whatever you have to do there in the house does not stop you from listening to the people, giving them projects, helping them in terms of their needs. The issue of school fees, of course, you should be able to attend to them. We are not saying that way to satisfy everybody, but you must attend to them so as to relieve them from their burden. Everybody knows that nothing is easy. We are living without a department to talk of those ones as it must be. You lost the audio or you just have finished? Okay. Honorable Manager, you have the experience in the house and you've been talking throughout the show about why or how the local government should function so that some of this burden will be taken away. In fact, it's the responsibility of the local government to do a lot of these things. Feeder roads, education is there, health is there, and so many other things are under the local government, which is seemingly not functioning in Nigeria. And if you say it's not functioning and it's important, the question comes to mind, why is it not functioning? What is the National Assembly doing to make sure that the local government functions and not remain as babies of the governors? And remember, or I know that some governors do not even conduct elections for local governments till the end of their tenure. Some of them do that almost at the end of their tenure, and some people say this is because they want people who can stand in and campaign for them and get them re-elected, especially if they're coming for a second tenure. So what is the National Assembly really doing to make sure that the local government stands on its feet and does what the third tier of government should do? Thank you very much. We just finished the process of constitutional amendment. And in that constitutional amendment, the autonomy of the local government and other form of government took a greater part of the constitutional amendment. If you understand the processes, it also needs to be state houses which most times they are under the control of the state governors. So we are on course with it. We are pushing it for them. On it. So the National Assembly has been working seriously on the sign of the amended constitution, which is of course what will give the country the legal framework to execute for the local government what and where they're supposed to stand. So it's in on course, the constitutional amendment, and local government autonomy was really, to a great deal in the constitutional amendment.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's just say that you're talking to your people right now, and they are, I'm sure a lot of people voted for you, that's why you're there, and whether they voted for you or not, you still have a responsibility of taking care of your people. So let's talk to your people, especially as the tension builds up. A lot of people are complaining about this election that just was held on Saturday. And there's tension in the land, if you ask me. Just talk to your people as a final word, what you expect of them, and how you feel that you are going to move forward with them in this dispensation.
Thank you very much. My word to my people is to be calm, and anyone that is not happy with the outcome of the result of the election should seek redress at the Court of Competent Jurisdiction. Demonstrating, breaking things does not help and will never help anybody. So my call on our people is that we still have another election, which is the gubernatorial election and the state house assembly election. Let's put our heads together and then go out and vote peacefully. The candidate of your choice, the candidate that you are sure that will listen and to do the bidding of the people.
Oh, thank you very much. Honorable Matthew, as well, just talk to your people who are listening to you right now. Thank you very much, gentlemen. At least we've been able to establish the fact that it's very important for the grassroots to be educated, and when they're educated, they are empowered even more than when you give them some physical things. They get to know what their rights are and demand and ask the right questions and put everybody on their toes to work together to make the constituencies, the various constituencies, to move forward. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Honorable Amos Madeji of Zango-Kataf, Diaba Federal Constituency. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. And also, Honorable Donatus Matthew of Kwara, you are also a member-elect representing our House in the House of Representatives. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Well, that's how it's been on the show tonight. My name is Namgul Ankeji. Let's do it again on Monday. Bye for now.
Was them saying that we govern by the rule of law. Because we know what not doing that will bring about. And that's why we say that. And I assure you that good people around Nigeria that will explore all legal and peaceful options to reclaim our mandates. We won the election. I will prove it to Nigerians. Are we ready for this election? I said yes. Are we ready on the grounds of technology? I said yes. Do we have enough bandwidth to manage the kind of data that is expected? I said yes. Until we went into this election, we were all expecting that these things were going to work. I expect on the eve of the election, for instance, there should have been a last-minute test. And if things were not going to work, INEC should have been bold enough to come out to tell Nigerians this wasn't going to work. Nobody will put a gun to their head. But as far as I know also, the device itself is supposed to have the ability to do a transmission from INEC server, because if you remember, what was submitted was a scanned image of the result. But there was also the result that was imputed on the device that was transmitted to the INEC server. Which, to my mind, is the granular data. Perhaps this is what Nigerians are asking. If there is problem with the data copies that were submitted online, can INEC also submit the granular data for public scrutiny? Effort to inspire confidence, especially as we are approaching the next election from March 11. We need to begin to see this kind of positive communication that inspires confidence. I saw one this morning from the National Commissioner for Voter Education, Francis Okoye, that they were not going to get the submission of results on the INEC. But even the one that we have as it were at the moment, INEC is waiting to finish uploading results. Election happened on Saturday. 4 days after the election, INEC is still submitting the results. I am not sure this is a good way to inspire confidence in the result management process. The election aspects have been demonstrated to recall the sexuality consultation so that we argue vehemently then on the need for political approach to step aside from actively getting more primary left staff was tested. The need for INEC to receive money a year ahead of the elections that has been tested, see the substitution of candidates and stuff like that. And let's now go to the decision of returning officer on ballot paper, which is the critical issue now in the ongoing. If you look at section 65, subsection 1, it says the decision of the returning officer shall be final on any question arising from or relating to online ballot paper, ballot paper, declaration of scores of candidates, return of the candidates provided that the Commission shall have the power within 7 days to review the declaration. Within 7 days. And this latitude given to INEC is subject to judicial intervention, because the decision of the returning officer under subsection 1 will be reviewed by an election tribunal or court of content jurisdiction in an election petition proceedings under this act. And as Labour Party is choosing to go for judicial intervention, Labour has made provision for it as a legitimate way to go. And the PDP also, it would have been unwise if other parties declared the winners. Since the beginning of this campaign, Jando and Funke have vigorously traversed all wards in Lagos State, from Kurudu to Badagry, Ekpe to Animosho. to know the true state of our state and where the shoe really pinches, they visited the riverine communities in places that have never been visited before by any governorship candidate in the history of Lagos politics. Funke's market store is also the first of its kind by a deputy governorship candidate. Lagos, there's so much work to do. It is time to give the man who knows Lagos and can breathe a breath of fresh air the chance to lead. Vote Dr. Abdulaziz Olaide Adebiran Jando as Governor of Lagos State. Power to the people! What does family mean to you? Family for me, it's always been that same meaning. It's that one person or those persons that are down for you, that's got your back through thick and thin. Doesn't matter whether they share the same last name with you. That's what family means to me. Let's go back to swimming in his own blood, mother belly consciousness. Who inflicted this pain? Oh, when I say family, I mean family. Share the same surname. You know, we said them nicknames, some other nicknames, but cousin. First cousin. So everyone that attacked was family. Yeah, everyone. There were 2 female, 3 male. They beat him, and he was winning, so they said, not be handed is do this 19. As one of them passed a very sharp object, which the police have been able to see it's so-and-so, and they caught him in his scrotal sack. You being one of the older people within your family right now, what are you doing to protect the younger generation? So, I'm a mentor of sorts to many, I'm a mother of many. So it's not just the ones that I'm biologically connected to, even children that I'm not connected to. So it's a huge responsibility on me to make sure this doesn't repeat itself. So one of the things that I'm teaching the younger ones early is to own your own. Own your own, whatever it is, your educational qualifications, your property, whatever. Own your own. Because I look at this and I see the greed, jealousy and greed, they go hand in hand, and it's one of the main reasons why this is happening. Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on PlusTvAfrica, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@PlusTvAfrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here. As you can see, is the remaining of the tanker that exploded so the people detected. Hello and welcome to what are you saying #Wings, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Tayomi Stanley, and today Glory and I are rolling solo in studio. Hello Glory. Hi. What happened to you? I can use a phrase maker. Don't be stressed, young lady. The stress is so I've been working from home since all this, so I just came out to office and it's been politics. I'm like, gosh, you guys, I don't want to talk about politics. Leave me alone. I'm stressed. Just leave me. Let's move on to something else. Can you imagine? My sister, after I saw one people, I said, never. I'm not gonna go back there. Honestly, Nigeria. It's really Nigeria is extreme sports. I mean, like doing business in Nigeria, all of them is all of them. Uzi and Alera joining us via Zoom. Hello, Uzi. Hello, Alera. Hi, ladies. Hi. Talking about my beloved Nigeria like that. Hi. What was it, beloved? Beloved, are you there when you there, me? I don't get. I understand. Yeah, you should as well, Abi. Honestly speaking, what are you saying? And so they're talking about my Nigeria in the way that I don't agree with James. But my Nigeria is not an excuse word. My Nigeria is the cruise. Stop it. Amen. From your mouth to God's ears. But hey, Nigeria, man. It is all well. Alright, so, the Supreme Court of course, gave a judgment about the Naira notes, and that's what we're discussing today. And here's what we found as today's quote. The Supreme Court's only armor is the cloak of public trust, its sole ammunition, the collective hopes of our society. I mean, so as I said earlier, the Supreme Court earlier today ordered that the old 200, 500, and 1,000 Naira notes should remain in circulation till December 31st, 2023. And the Apex Court also nullified, as I did like this, I do not know what we're saying, but today we want to discuss the Supreme Court's invalidation of the federal government's Naira redesign policy. That's what we're going to be discussing. But first, let's quickly go on a break. When we come back on the break, we'll see what we found in the news. Alright, you are still watching Ways Now. World Hearing Day 2023 is a day that is observed on the 3rd of March to spread awareness regarding hearing loss and safe listening as a means of maintaining good hearing across the life's course. Now you see this particular day, Nigerians we have problem. Because everywhere you go, the noise is so loud, generator, there is so many things just disturbing your eardrums, like the ones that are discussing in my ear, you know, and I noticed, that Nigerians naturally, they speak very loudly. It's not because, because you can't hear, but sometimes I don't think my mom should be, you have to like go up your voice before you can hear. So this hearing loss matter is for if they go and check, I'm sure about 70% of Nigerians they've lost, a good chunk of the ability to hear properly. I think so. Really, I think it's actually for those of us who like listening to loud music and having all the airports here and there. Well, thank you for reminding us we need to take care of our hearing, because honestly, when I just came to Lagos, I noticed, especially the public drivers, shouting, so I wasn't so, why do you guys have to shout? I'm saying, and that was basically it, and it's like, if you're not that way, it's like there's a problem, but guys, anyway, I said you've lost your hearing matter. Let's say a level, what do you want to say around the world? Hearing day. I mean, we're hoping that we have this day to celebrate, so we just want to take notes and remind ourselves that Mary said loud music here and there. I'm actually someone that listens to loud music a lot, and honestly, it's not safe. But I mean, it's great that today paying the attention to everyone to focus on their health, focus on their hearing, don't make too much noise. I mean, when you mentioned generator, the buses on the road, traffic, even honking as well is noise and affects the hearing. So I mean, it's great that we focus on this and we have to just take care of ourselves and take care of the people around us and make sure that we use noise cancellation earpieces. Just take care of your hearing aids, basically. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I hit the nail on the head. We take for granted how much noise is around us on a daily basis in Nigeria. And really, it's not just Nigeria, it's the whole world, because with the proliferation of technology, electricity, there's a lot of ambient noise around that we don't notice, right? So we find that we are so accustomed to, if you just listen around your house, if you stop and listen, you see the hum of your AC, the hum of your fridge, the hum of almost every device in your house hums. But you actually find that you don't hear it anymore, right? So we're becoming accustomed to those sounds, when in truth, a prolonged exposure to it can cause things like fatigue, it can cause stress, it can even go as far as causing cardiovascular problems. So really, understanding the impact of ambient noise, I mean, if you look at some of the research and papers that are out there, it can be scary to think about that, 40 to 55 decibels can really have health impacts on us when we're considerably exposed to it. So that's something to think about, even when it comes to whether we can turn off some of our appliances in our personal space if we don't need to. People that have television and all sorts in their bedrooms, just ways to be conscious about it. Absolutely, I hate televisions in the bedroom. I hate it with it. Like, I can't stand, when I'm alone in my room, I switch off everything. Because I just don't like the sound of television. How can I will not be able to sleep? And the thing that, it's interesting that you talked about ambient noise. Did you know that my water dispenser, the noise is so loud? So because most times it is being powered by my solar solution and at the same time the off-grid. So anytime the solar is on and maybe they've taken the light from the off-grid, I see that the noise is just, what's making noise in this kitchen? I've done trace, so I just switch it off because the noise is just too much. And truly, our ears have become so accustomed to those kinds of, sound, and, it really causes a lot of disorder. Like me, every little thing I wake up, so I must really have a very peaceful and quiet place for me to be able to sleep well. And now, I read something very, very scary about, your brain. When you're not sleeping well, how some part of your brain is eating up that cannot be regained back. Then you start having, Parkinson's disease, you start to have, what's the memory loss one? Yes, so all of those diseases and the one you're shaking your hands,
all of those things is as a non-lack of sleep, and lack of sleep can be traced, to not just having a very calm environment to sleep. When I see people sleeping, heavy noise, I give them
It also goes ahead to let's just tell some of the people. You know that some neighbors that put on their chain till 2 a.m. the next day, or the next day. So
I'm setting up a place right now. I've been like, you know how you are so adverse to generator. I've been begging different people, different solar company, please come and give me a solution. I will not need the generator because generator noise, I'm not used to it anymore. So anytime I go into a space where there's generator, the thing disturbs me, gives me a bad headache. So I mean, this thing is actually very important. If you are not paying attention to because very soon you will not be able to hear again. That's where you now start hearing people that they've lost the sense of hearing. Alright, so who are we starting with? OTL, let's start with you. What do you find for us in the names? It's us today, so we have time to talk. Absolutely. I like the fact that they're going through legal routes. I just hoping that our judicial system would be transparent enough. So we are not asking whether something should go in favor of somebody, but let us just see that the process was truly transparent and fair. That's all. And once Nigerians are assured of that, all the voter apathy and all of those things will no longer exist because a lot of people are now beginning to be very apprehensive about going to any polling units. Let me come to your story, please.
So my story, you remember yesterday when you and myself and Adela were discussing it, and I'm really happy to see this. Actor Adeyemi questions Lagos Rep elect on campaign manifesto. So, it's actually already said that nobody cared about Cynthia Zata up until, he won the campaign. And I like what he's doing based on the fact that, okay, now you have won. So we would be asking you questions, and we actually sent this letter to him and to his constituents, informing him that, okay, now we've seen that you have won, but we'd like to know what you intend to do for the people. And I really like that this is happening. So I had to take this news just so that we remind Nigerians that, okay, the election has come. We need to focus on the people that make it to the things in the grassroots, and this is going to make a lot of people actually sit up. So I'm really happy this is happening.
Yeah, that's a
One question.
Yeah, go ahead, Lucy.
So when a doctor hires someone to do surgery, and they don't do